No, we're going to take a little trip down memory lane. Um, and I'm wearing my Russian weightlifting shirt, so I surely should be talking about weightlifting in this video, but instead I'm going to talk about something that's only slightly related now because so many people have gone from CrossFit to weightlifting. So, CrossFit. And I love it. Lots of people talk about CrossFit and they're like, oh yeah, I'm an OG CrossFitter. I started in 2012. So let me tell you something, and this is very useful to you. How to do CrossFit and how it changed is what I'm going to talk about here. I don't know what my first CrossFit workout was, but I assume it was probably somewhere around 2002. So there used to be this forum, NavySeals.com had a forum, and there were some real Navy SEALs who actually would comment in the forum, and it was mostly a bunch of guys like me who were, either in high school or college looking to become Navy SEALs. And so we'd ask all these questions of, what do you do to poop at buds? Like, do they give you a chance to poop? Because that's a legitimate question. You don't. You just hold it in. And, people would ask questions about, like, what's Hell Week like, or what's the secret to getting through Hell Week, as if there's some secret, because we all thought there had to be some secret to it. Like, how could people do this superhuman thing? It's not that they just got it up and just did it, right? In any case, every once in a while, people would share these workouts, and apparently those were CrossFit workouts. So, it would be some circuit training type thing. And so I did these circuit training type things occasionally, and I was like, that's no big deal. Now, why is that no big deal? Well, very quickly. Let's say that the workout was, 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, and 15 air squats, and you wanted to do 20 rounds of it. Well, you can do this 2 different ways. You could go as fast as you possibly can, which is how CrossFit is actually performed, or you could have done it the way that I did it, where I was just like, oh, you just do this circuit 20 times? Sure, no thing. And I would just do the circuit 20 times. And I was like, I don't see what the big deal is about this stuff. It's not that hard. Because it isn't. Because whenever you spend all your time doing pull-ups, push-ups, and lunges and squats and stuff like that, someone asking you to do 20 rounds of 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, and 15 air squats, that's not a big deal. You just move at an easy pace, and you can do the whole thing. And you'll do it in 20 to 30 minutes, because you're just taking your time going through the circuit. This is very different than how CrossFit's actually done, though. Now, this is what's important. My first actual introduction to CrossFit was in 2004, and I'll never forget it. So I met up with this guy who was a Navy SEAL, and I have no idea where he is today, so I'm not going to drop his name because he could still be active duty for all I know, or maybe he's, I don't know. I mean, at this point, this is later. I mean, we're like 20 years down the road. He was a young guy. He could be, I don't know, probably like a senior chief or some shit today. In any case, we did this workout together, right? No big deal. 400-meter run, 50 air squats. Yeah, what's the big deal? You just did that 4 times, it's like a mile of running. Yeah, only he started the 400 meters at a full fucking sprint, and I tried to keep pace with him. This is a very different workout. You see, what I just explained to you was how I did CrossFit initially, not knowing any better, that you just take your time and do the circuit. Well, this is not a hard workout. If you jog 400 and then do 50 air squats and then jog 400 again and then do 50 air squats, this is not a hard workout. If you sprint 400 meters as fast and as hard as you possibly can and then try to bang out 50 air squats as fast as you possibly can, immediately go into another 400 running as hard as you possibly can, this is a totally different workout. I'm sure you can appreciate this. If you're jogging 400 meters or running 400 meters as fast as you possibly can, this is a massively different stimulus. It's kind of like if I ran an 8-minute mile, that's a jog. If I try to break sub 5, my heart rate's maxed out and I'm gasping for air and it feels like acid is flowing through my veins. I'm sure you can appreciate this. This is the difference of intensity. Running a mile is not the same as running a mile. If I run a mile at a 10-minute mile pace versus running a mile at a 5-minute mile pace, this is a completely different mile, right? Okay, so 4 rounds, 400-meter run, 50 air squats. And I tried to keep pace with this dude because I wanted to show him that I had giant balls and I was going to be a Navy SEAL too, because, if you can do it, I can do it. Only, he smoked me. He was done, and I was still on, starting my 3rd run. So he was a lot faster than I was. And I was like, holy shit, what is this thing? So, let me get this straight. You go out as fast and as hard as you possibly can, He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, I need to train like this. So I have a point to this whole thing. That is how I did CrossFit from 2004 until about 2008. Whatever you're doing, you go all out as fast and as hard as you possibly can. You will hit the wall and crash and burn, and then you try to keep going. It's like doing Fran, 21, 15, 9 thrusters and pull-ups, right? You come out with everything you have right off the bat, 100% intensity, and you will fatigue and you will slow down. And then that first set of 21 is not bad. That's super easy. Like, you just come out the gate as fast and as hard as you can. It's 21 thrusters with 95 pounds. Like, that's jack shit. Then you hit the 21 pull-ups, and then you hit the round with the 15, and it's like you get halfway through that round, and all of a sudden your body's like, we're turning off now. So by the time you get to the set of 9, it's like, holy shit, like, you're struggling to do just 2 at a time. You want to break it into 3, 3, 3, right? And instead you're like 1, 2, and you're like, I can't get a third. Drop the bar, try to catch your breath. I'm gonna get 3 on this one. 1, 2, oh fuck. I got nothing left. You just hit the wall. Your body's like screaming at you to stop. Okay, this is where CrossFit changed. Suddenly they made up these games things, and now people started pacing the workout, because if you pace the workout, okay, you can end up with a faster time. So I'm sure you can appreciate this. Coming back to our 400-meter run, 50 air squats. If you come out the gate and run that first 400 meters as fast as you possibly can, your last 400 meters is going to be super slow. You're going to be smoked. And your last set of 50 air squats is going to be super slow too. But if you pace yourself, you could set it up so that all of your 400-meter runs are roughly the same, and you're pacing the squats as well, so those are all roughly the same. You'll actually end up with a faster time, right? Because we're gaming the workout by pacing it. And this is where I think that things changed. And I think that how to do CrossFit depends on you. What is your goal? So if your goal is to be competitive in CrossFit, okay, how to do CrossFit. If you want to get the best time, 21, 15, 9 thrusters and pull-ups, you should pace yourself. If you pace yourself, you're going to get a better time, which is going to make you more competitive, because now you're doing it as a competitive sport. However, this is up to you. I'm not telling you how to do CrossFit in terms of telling you what your goals are. If your goal is just purely one of fitness and you don't care about having the best time in the gym, you're not worried about getting your name up on the leaderboard or setting some benchmark thing, come out the gate every time and go as hard as you possibly can on that run. Because over time, you're going to get better at buffering hydrogen ions. This is a scientific bullshit kind of thing, right? But it's the mechanism behind it. Your body gets better at buffering the hydrogen ions. And so now, if you come out the gate and run that as hard as you can every single time on all 4 rounds, and then the next time you do this workout, you do the same, you're going to end up with a faster time than you did on your previous one. So this is you getting faster compared to you. If you're trying to beat other people, your how-to is to be strategic. And you're going to want to pace the workout so that you get the fastest time by not frying yourself and then crashing and burning halfway through the workout, so that you're basically shuffling through the last 400 meters. My point to you is this. I think that CrossFit changed because of games and people making it competitive fitness, right? And so because of that, people started gaming the workout, they started pacing the workout, they started having a strategy to it. And I think, personally, it was better whenever it didn't have a strategy to it. In fact, actually, if you guys want, go to the CrossFit website and go way, way back. And you'll notice that there weren't even loads prescribed. It was like power cleans. Yeah, but there's no weight. It doesn't say you have to do power cleans with 135. It doesn't say power cleans with 185. It doesn't say power cleans with 95. It just says power cleans. It's like, work up to a heavy power clean. And then they have a question with it, like, can you power clean your own body weight? Yeah. They didn't prescribe a load. That's correct. If you go back and find the really old CrossFit workouts, they didn't even prescribe a load. That's interesting. So back then, the whole idea behind it was that you compete with yourself. So if the last time you did 30 clean and jerks, ground to overhead, if you did it with 95 pounds last time, either try to do it with 95 pounds faster or try to do it with 100 pounds. So now you're increasing the weight. There was no prescribed load. It didn't say you had to do it with 135. And I think that was actually better. People were competing with themselves and trying to beat their own time or beat their own weight. And I think that there's a lot of value in that. However, if you're interested in being competitive in CrossFit, you want to go to the games or whatever, then you have to use the prescribed loads and you have to game the workout and pace yourself so that you don't burn out and fry and, get a shitty time as a result of hitting the wall. And so that's it. That's everything I have for you. How to do CrossFit. Well, there's two different ways you can do it. You can come out, guns blazing and just fry yourself, hit the wall, and then try to keep going, or you can pace yourself. And in terms of how it changed, like I said, go back and look at the old programming. It didn't even have a prescribed load. And so, how did it change? Well, it changed because people started gaming it in order to get better times. So CrossFit went from being this thing where you're competing with yourself to now you're competing with other people and, strategizing in order to get the fastest time. Anyways, that's what I have for you. Just something to think about. And for those of you who are tired of doing CrossFit, come to the dark side and take up weightlifting. It's a sport that doesn't love you. In fact, this sport hates you, and eventually it'll leave you for a younger man. Like your wife.